Okay, I want to show you the significance of this mysterious, strange male stalking. That's what he's doing under the law on behalf of the U.S. military that are stalking me by commercial planes. And as I document and put that on X, which what any prudent person, any prudent victim of these homosexuals, the U.S. military, who are molesting with impossible light, lurking around the corner, driving in circles and flying in circles, stalking like unstable, vagina monitoring psychopaths who wear diapers and do not go to sleep because they're engaged in 24-hour psychotic means of surveillance. This is an entity that has to start going around in circles when I start documenting, because this is what you're looking at. This is what's going to be relieved from having any part in the U.S. military, what's being relieved from having any part in law enforcement. These are demons who are very much suicidal, very, very much unstable. Okay, this is referred to as psychopathic pacing, and I maintain a body of evidence that is a playlist on social media regarding very serious and very threatening behavior that is a threat to the public. This is the population of demons engaging in criminal activity regarding severe mental instability from prolonged practices that are let's just say poor, very bad for their health. Okay, this entity's been playing in dark spirits. This entity's been playing in drug use. This entity's been engaged in what is corrupt practices where they're accustomed to getting away with lying. That also has an ongoing impact, a cumulative impact on the mind that becomes deranged, believing your own lies, believing that which is never true, never was going to be true. And you're talking about the entity that's engaging and you resort to flying in circles once you become triggered by my documentation. You need to understand how much of a threat this is and how much this must be isolated from the rest of the American public. This must be isolated from the rest of the American public. This is highly unstable, and this is illustrative of the entire population. Understand, this is demon possession. This is the P.O.C. And this was also having the audacity to sit next to me, stand in front of me, in order to force me to be in that path. That's why the U.S. military is being prosecuted as treasonous betrayers of the United States. They are the reason why you have a bunch of homosexuals calling themselves an Ontario Police Department. And they are the reason, these homosexuals that are not engaged in law enforcement are why you have a population of mentally unstable light slingers, gargoyles, also practicing homosexuality and pedophilia and bestiality. Doing things like stalking 24 hours a day, stalking in bathroom stalls, going into the grocery store to crouch in aisles. This is the entity that is highly unstable, and this is requiring what is isolation from the rest of the American public for the protection of the American citizen. Okay? That's what's behind this psychopathic behavior. That is not traffic, they're pacing. They're all pacing. They are all listening to me at the same time. And you're aware of that by where's the entity stalking by planes? Right here. Where's the entity engaging in yet another episode, another psychological episode, a breakdown, flying in circles over and over and over again. They're not well. And this is what is murdering people all across the globe. The entity, the U.S. military, have been paid to try to sacrifice me. And what they have done is sacrifice themselves. They've sacrificed their secrecy. They've sacrificed their reputation for being elite, for being capable, for even being competent, for even being sane. They are none of those things. They are unhinged, maniacal, psychotic, perverted, demonic. And they are headed for what is a military tribunal, prosecuted as enemies of this country, and they are engaging in what is aiding in the disbanding of agencies that are enemies, treasonous, like the Ontario Police Department. This is the P.O.C., and this is highly unstable conduct, and this is going to be illustrative of how you're recognizing mental illness and the corrupt system of gang stalking throughout the country, also around the globe. Okay? This is the P.O.C. These sex offenders, while I'm over here minding my business on my device, they're molesting me with impossible light. They are acting together. It's not separate. They share in terrorism together, and this is treason. It is a direct violation of Article 3, Section 3 of the Constitution. This is levying war on American citizens, on this country. And it is absolutely helpful to our enemies, since we now know that the military is full of a bunch of unstable homosexuals relying on Satan and witchcraft, and they can't even work themselves out of a hamster box. They can't stop spinning in circles. They're unstable, and they're going to be permanently sat down. They're going to be put in facilities where they belong. This is P.O.C. It is currently 11:08 p.m.